Yeah, his Facebook, he posted it.
Would stand for the pledge of allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we all bow our heads, please? Gracious and Heavenly Father, guide us in our decisions we make for the school corporation, the faculty, staff, and of course, our most precious is our students. In your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Chris McKinney.
Here.
Chris Satterfield.
Here.
Terry Warnica.
Here.
Skip Willis.
Here.
Carl Willis. Here.
First is organization. A, the election of officers. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Statement of executive meeting. An executive session was held prior to the regular board meeting and no other subject matter was discussed in the executive session other than the subject matter that was specified in the public notice. If anybody has any questions, they can talk to me or our attorney, Grant, at the end. So, thank you for that. Thank you. And with that, we'll go to election of officers.
I make a motion that Chris McKinney is our president, board president.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion. All in favor, raise your hand. All right.
All right, Mr. President.
I'm make a motion, we have Chris Satterfield as our vice president.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. All right. And should have just kept it the same. I'll make a motion that Carla be our secretary if she's willing.
I'll second.
All right. Motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Appointment of corporation treasurer and deputy treasurer.
So you have in your packet, letter to continue using Chelsea Young as, or employing her as the treasurer for Pike County School Corporation, and also that she serve as the executive secretary of the Pike County School Corporation Board of Trustees for 2026. And I know we just hired Tracy in the fall, but officially with the reorganization, recommending she serve as deputy treasurer through the calendar year 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Not all in favor, raise your hand. Meeting dates and times for regular meeting.
I've continued with the pattern of the second Tuesday of the month, 7 p.m. Unless there's a typo on the dates, those should be the dates in front of you.
You just make a motion to accept those?
Yes. I'll make a motion, we accept those dates.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Designation of depository for the school corporation funds.
I'm recommending that we continue to use Home Building Savings and Loan as a depository for our health insurance funds and German American Bank as a depository for the school corporation funds.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor, raise your hand. Appointment of board attorney.
Recommending the appointment of Mr. Grant Swartzentruber as our attorney for 2026. The same terms as when we approved him in July to finish out the year.
Make a motion to accept that. I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Designation for publications and notices.
Okay, I know I did mention a thought or a consideration to you. The Press Dispatch has served as our primary source for several years. They are published once a week. Sometimes that has, puts us, we got to really watch our timelines to make sure we meet everything, get it submitted in a timely manner, and with the changes there over the recent years, it's moving like earlier and earlier on the timeline of when they need it. So I did check. The only one I checked with right now was Washington Times-Herald. It is published twice a week on Tuesday and Saturday, whereas the Press was Wednesdays only. Both use the government rate for publication of legal notices. Any news item is at no cost, but is contingent on room. I will say that currently the Press Dispatch already has the sections featuring our schools and highlighting. However, again, I think it's worth a discussion that we may need to start to consider other options. I'm comfortable right now staying with the press dispatch, but I'd like to see us start exploring some opportunities maybe to share our good news in other newspapers, especially if we're able to do that as a column or something with papers. Okay.
So for now, it's, your recommendation is press dispatch?
Those would be the have-tos.
Okay,
That would be the have-tos.
that would be the must-haves.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Not all in favor, raise your hand. Resolution for board member compensation.
So, the resolution, again, the minimum, or the maximum.
Basically, it's,
Maximum, 2,000.
yeah. Indiana Code 20-26-4-7. So,
So again, it's
Yeah.
been that for many years. I will go ahead and add, although I haven't heard it for a while, our board does not take or does not offer health insurance. So
exactly.
this is all that they receive for serving our community.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand.
That's it.
All right. Approval of minutes of the executive session meeting and regular meeting, both of December 9th, 2025.
Those are there in your packet.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes for the regular meeting and the, both meetings on December 9th.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, any discussion on the meetings? Not all in favor, raise your hand. Review of finances, approval of claims.
So we have voucher 21515 through 21657 in the packet for your approval. Voucher 21524, 21531, 21587, 21588 were for checks that replaced either outstanding or lost checks. And then vouchers 21528 and 21529 do not exist. Any questions?
I'll make a motion, we approve the claims.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand. Financial reports.
We start with the bank statements. German American Bank has a balance of $4,550,681.23. Home Building has a balance of $127,030.38 for a combined total of $4,677,711.61. The statements are following the cover sheet. Do you have any questions on the bank statement?
I do not.
I do not.
Okay. So on the fund report, Education Fund has a balance of $954,363. Debt service is a balance of $570,230. Operations is a balance of $2,739,139. Rainy day is down to $21,422. The GEO bonds of 19 is down to $32,584. The GEO bonds of 2025 have been expended. It's a zero balance. Following that, you have some of the other key funds listed. After the fund report, you have a copy of the appropriation report. Again, this is the end of December, so the percentages would show most of them up to 100 being expended, or at least for the calendar year. The revenue report is following that. And then we have the cash projections for education, operation, rainy day, GEO bond 19, and GEO bond 25. The final page is the affidavit showing what has been expended towards the from the 2025 bond, which is towards the vocational building renovation. So I know there were several pages. Do you have questions on any of the financial pieces?
I do not. Okay. All right. Approval of end of year transfers.
This was a little lengthy. Your packet would be way smaller if it wasn't for this section. So these are all the transfers that had to be done to true up the balances for any of the end of the year expenses and make sure there were no negatives and so on.
Make a motion, we accept these year-end transfers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on the transfers? No. Not all in favor, raise your hand. All right. Approval of resolution for self-insurance fund.
So each year, we're required to adopt the resolution for establishment of our self-insurance fund. The appropriation for the fund is $2,926,800. And this is for designating the home building account as our self-insurance fund and to be out in a cooperative or something.
Same as last year.
Yep.
I make a motion, we approve.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Approval of 2026 mileage rate.
Current mileage rate for 2025 was 70 cents a mile. That was the IRS rate. It is raising for 2026 to 72.5 miles, 72.5 cents per mile. We did talk to State Board of Accounts when they were here for the audit. We do have the option to use a rate other than the IRS rate. And so after some discussion with them, I am recommending that we use the rate of 49 cents per mile. And that's primarily due to getting our expenses under control.
I'll second that motion.
I got a motion and a second. I will also say on that discussion, and that is anything over that, they can write off on taxes, correct?
Yes, again.
Yes. So, all right, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion approved. Okay, other?
Nope.
No. Patron comments?
There's none.
None. So new business, acceptance of donations.
We have for the Pike Central Middle School, we have for Mason's General Store, we have a donation of $100 from Dave and Rita Williams. We have from the Community Foundation, $15,000 to Winslow Elementary School Arts to Ashley Barley.
Awesome.
We have Pike Central Middle School, Mason's General Store, David and Jeanette Burdette, a donation of $100. We have OFS donated some armless chairs, 28 were accepted at Winslow. The total cost of the donated items would be estimated or be at $18,144. We have donation at Pike Central High School Guidance Department from the Main Street Presbyterian Church in the amount of $300 and AES Indiana in the amount of $200. The middle school also accepted a donation of the armless chairs from OFS. They accepted 30 of the chairs, so their total donation was $31,410. We have a donation to Mason's General Store from New Journey Travel LLC in the amount of $200. We have a donation from the Community Foundation in the amount of $15,084 for a new sound system and projector at Winslow Elementary. We have donation from NIDEC Motor Corp, $700 for the second grade field trip to the Wonder Lab. We have $250 from the Crane Credit Union Spirit Card, and that's it on donations.
Make a motion to accept donation.
I'll second that, and a big thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Not all in favor, raise your hand. Recommendation to approve fundraisers.
From Petersburg Elementary, they're requesting approval of the fundraiser to sell their candy bars for the 5th grade. We have requests of items from the high school. So you have the full application, but the cover sheet, Pike Central Technology Department selling 3D printed and laser engraved items, the machining program, collecting aluminum cans and scrap metals and selling custom engraved keychains. Spanish Club wants to host matches of Mario Kart, and I believe that was during lunch. SAD is looking to sell walking tacos at the basketball games. FCCLA wants to sell strawberries as they did last year. Pike Central High School Musical is going to be selling food at home football or home basketball games. I believe it's going to be the Wizard of Oz theme to match the musical. And they also are hosting a Munchkin musical clinic for the first time. National Honor Society will be doing a Little Caesars fundraiser. In student government, these were actually all approved in full with the first semester ones, but they're there again. So if you have any questions or anything, you can also bring those up. And that was it. Yes, that was it.
Fundraising, what's the one? Okay, that's just the paperwork. Okay. I make a motion, we approve fundraisers. A motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Recommendation to approve the marketing campaign.
Yeah, I have in the packet, recommended that it enter into an agreement with Dylan Query and Query Productions, but he is here tonight. And he did bring the hard copy of the handout, so I'm gonna let him maybe
Yes,
speak with you a little bit, or if you have any questions about his proposal, please ask him.
So I won't go through all the little nitty-gritty details which you can find in your packet, but I just want to speak broadly about it. First of all, if you don't know who I am, my name is Dylan Query, and I'm the owner-operator of Query Productions, which is a local video production, video marketing business based here in Pike County. I'm a proud Pike County native. I grew up here. I graduated at Pike Central High School in 2015. And I spent some time, about 8 or so years, up in Muncie, Fishers, Indianapolis. And eventually, whenever it came time to have a family, it was a no-brainer a no-brainer decision between my wife and I that we wanted to raise our kids not in the city, but in a smaller rural community. And obviously, Pike County was my go-to choice. So I'm proud to be a family man here in Pike County and also be a business owner here. But when we think about our schools, I recognize that there have been a lot of struggles, especially considering enrollment. I had a great discussion with Dr. Blake a handful of weeks ago, and also Stephendahl, to talk about some of these issues and how I could help present a solution for those. What I will say is that in this day and age, if you don't have a significant digital presence, it is quite harmful. It can no longer be ignored. This is on social media, or just generally the enigma that is social media, right? That's what I would like to help be a light in that situation and help produce some content that could help you with those marketing needs. So in here, I've got some primary campaign goals. Number one would be increase awareness of the Pike County School Corporation offerings, those positive offerings, which are commonly overshadowed by potential issues or rumors in the social media echo chamber, right? I would like to highlight the school's unique programs, culture, and opportunities, provide the district with versatile, reusable video assets, and support long-term enrollment and recruitment initiatives. So what I'm proposing is to start, we would develop about 8 short-form pieces of content. And by short form, I mean an average of around 30 seconds or so. When we think of social media, it's very easily digestible content. People do not resonate these days with long form advertisements. So we would create 8 short form videos, and they would be topical. So on page 3, we have a list of proposed topics, though I think maybe there could be opportunity for maybe revisiting those or making some potential changes. I took it upon myself to have a meeting with Economic Development Director Ashley Willis, because I recognize that there is a relationship between economic development and the need for a strong school system. And so she expressed to me that in her meetings, there are a lot of questions specifically around elementary schools. And why I think it's important to consider what Ashley is saying there is because when we're thinking about, let's call it what it is, a public opinion campaign, right? When we're thinking about that, what you need is public support, and you need public partners to help you in this campaign. So you don't want to be the primary driving force behind sharing all this content. You want to have an audience. You want to have public support that is sharing the content, engaging with it, liking it, commenting on it, and sharing it with other people. So having some of those community partners is vital for this campaign to function properly. So maybe a recommendation that I would have, I know we have one particular video in here that's talking about elementary STEM, but maybe we also consider making more of a broader elementary promo specifically, because then that could be utilized by economic development, and therefore they would be more willing to share said content, which would help you out in the long run. Additionally, we'd be capturing all this content, and I think we would be remiss to not consider more of a strategic purpose for this, talk about it being reusable. Imagine some of this content being repurposed into a generalized promo video that would be 60 to 90 seconds long. That could be a strategic tool utilized by our superintendent whenever she's out and about, giving presentations, meeting with people. Or alternatively, like I said, that broader community promotional material that could be shared easily. So I think that is also an opportunity there that we could consider. What I can also produce with this footage is to produce like what the industry would call like a B-roll compilation, which could be utilized for news. Like, let's say you have like a news story coming out, being able to share a video package with the news for them to use in news stories and things is also of value, just kind of helping with that general image. Additionally, this is not included in the initial investment price, but I do want you to take a look at the optional add-ons in there, because I think that there are some things that may be enticing for you. For example, drone photography or drone video, updated imagery of all of your facilities, which could be interesting. I'm not sure of the use case here, but I wanted to add it in there just for your consideration, is the Spanish language captions. I'm not sure currently what your current percentage of Spanish speaking students is, but if you're wanting to advertise broadly and bring some of those students potentially here, I know that Davis County has quite a bit of a Hispanic population. So if that's something that you would be considering, that could be an option there. There's some additional things in here, parent testimonials, just stuff for you to consider. Updated professional photography. That would require me bringing on an additional contractor who I would hire from Pike County. I'd like to mention that. So there are a couple of great photography options. So I would keep that in county, but that could also be considered. Additionally, Dr. Blake was talking about the sharing news. Is it, correct me if I'm wrong, sharing news stories with the local newspaper? Is that correct? Is that legally you have to do that, or is that just a part of your general marketing?
Right now, it's more general marketing.
Okay.
I mean, they have a section that our principals rotate for writing the column. We encourage everybody to send, videos of photos of what our kids are doing.
Okay.
Achievement, not just the highlights of the sports, which was already covered, but some of the other classroom activities that are going on. So, we have that outlet, but the online presence is
Sure.
not necessarily strong at all.
Yeah, it's a growing problem with the even the newspapers. That's a difficult topic, right? Because generally speaking, the newspapers that are not adapting to the new age, we're seeing a decline. Right? We're seeing a lot of newspapers that are being sold or are going under, and so adapting to this new digital age is something that they, the ones that are surviving are looking at. One thing that I'm partnering with locally, Randy Harris, the WFPC podcasting, that is kind of call it not necessarily a solution, but just, additional offering for relevant and accurate news to try to meet people where they're at, which is on social media, and combat this, this disinformation or rumors that are going around. And so we bring on people that are talking with authority on particular subject matter. In the last 8 months, so we launched in May of 2025. In 8 months, we have generated over 250,000 views on our Facebook Reels. And we grew from 0 followers to we're just under 1,000 followers in just under a year. And so, with that, I'd like to provide more opportunities for the school to talk about what they're doing. I facilitated Dana coming on and talking about cars. I think that would, just as a recommendation, I think that would be of value for you to consider partnering with Randy to do that. But, I also, thinking broadly, just looking at that alone, those videos are not complicated, right? What we're producing, those shorts, and yet people are resonating with them, and it's helping to spread good information. So just for you to consider. I would like to open it up for any questions that you might have for me.
With the add-ons, that's something that can be done at any time after we go with this? Or is that something that we need to know before?
I think with the add-ons, we could do that after the fact, but if we consider doing them during the actual, this current project, then that content could be utilized in the content that we're producing, which I think would be helpful.
Chelsea made a good note that I agree with, that the vertical only versions for the shorts and the reels is probably very good.
Yeah. Pike Central, we have our own drone. Right? With Beth Boner.
Yes.
We bought,
She does have a-
Community Foundation bought her a drone. I don't know what. She might be
I
able
don't-
to take
I
some
don't-
pictures.
That is a possibility, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big TikToker guy, but I mean, that's where everybody's looking.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we would be,
Well,
in the shortfall if we didn't add that on.
Any of it, you're gonna need the vertical video anyways,
Yeah.
to look.
I could see the benefit of knowing and planning for the TikTok, the vertical versions. I think the additional filming may be something we have to visit as we go along.
Yeah. What do you see happening with an additional day? What would you do possibly?
Well, so with the additional day, I think that really comes down to, I'm trying, with these 8 topics here, if we start really diving into the nitty gritty behind all of this, I'm projecting 10 days, but what I'm really doing there is I'm projecting a number of hours per day, and I'll be splitting those up amongst all these because I'm gonna have to go to a lot of different events to try to capture, enough footage for each of these videos. And so with an extra day, I might be able to, it may not be necessarily needed, but it might be. We might get down to it and I might be so out of scope, but I still have to go to all these different events and such, and it just becomes feasible, or it becomes necessary on my end to be able to charge that. So, I'm gonna do the best that I can to keep it within the scope. But once I start reaching that amount where I'm saying I'm kind of pushing out of scope at this point, of course, I will have a discussion with Dr. Blake to try to figure out a solution for that. But I've been doing this for about 10 years now, so I have a pretty good idea of how long some of these things take. So I'm doing the best that I can to provide an accurate projection there.
But if we need the additional day, we can add that on.
Yeah, one thing, I think the most complicated out of all of these proposed videos is probably going to be athletics, and that's going to require me going to the most events for one particular video. And so, depending on all the things that you want to showcase, right, that list starts getting pretty long: basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, football, wrestling, and then we also start talking about seasons here, right?
Some of these aren't even.
That's right. Yeah, so, that kind of becomes maybe a bit of an issue. But speaking transparently, your athletics program has struggled. And so when it comes to speaking about, positively about some of these subjects, your athletics from all of these, I think, is going to be the one at most risk of catching some negative flack on social media. That's maybe just my opinion, but that's just a perspective I may have. So if we wanted to, we could take the athletics video, and especially considering all the different seasons of sports that I would have to attend, that could be more of a long-term project. And then we could replace athletics with a different topic. Perhaps, for example, more of a broad promo base for the elementary schools.
And when Dylan and I talked, the pride of place is something that I know ties in with our EDC and a lot of what work they've been trying to do. And so and you referenced moving back because this is where you wanted your child to go to school.
Yeah.
So I feel like the pride of place is a good fit. Some of the other part, it was challenging, like what are our positives, what are the things we want to highlight? I think like we have the various programs, but like community engagement, we felt like it was important to show what our kids do, like the day of caring, all the activities they're in, or all the projects, so many other clubs and groups do. And so that was where we tied into that one. I think these are all very good starting points. I think there's definitely some flexibility that, again, as you're working on it, another idea or something
Right.
may pop up, or it might, like you say, be adjusted slightly. We had even talked at one point if we want STEM to be elementary only, or a little broader, from K to 12. And we know they have the success base that has moved through, the various grades. So again, I think there's a little bit of tweaking or adjustment that we can do as we see it.
And just to be clear, adjusting the topic for one or several of these videos is not necessarily going to change my scope at all, my scope of work.
Envisioning that you're gonna be out there working on something and come across an idea and you're going, this one's gotta go. This one's the one we gotta do. It's not on the list, but it's what we gotta do. Sure.
Well, my question, I guess, would be just on the additional filming day. If you see, if we're doing all this, if you perceive that extra day is needed for the price, could you spend additional time on what you've got? You know what I mean? As far as, is that quality gonna be?
I think it would just have to be maybe a running discussion that we would have to have. Like when it comes to that, then we can discuss it. And if you decide at that point, like, no, let's just try to run with what we have. But I may just make a recommendation. Hey, I think we need a little bit more here, but we've reached scope. What do you think? Would you like to spend this to capture these additional things, or would you like to just run with what we have?
Yeah. I feel like if he communicates with me, I can make sure you guys get the message. Hey, here's what he's gotten done.
If you go with the TikTok reels of plus 300, that would put it like
69.
Right, almost at 7,000. So probably that.
And if there's some of these others that start to surface that we decide we want to consider, say the testimonials or
Yeah.
something.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
We can do that. If we can have those on later, if you needed to know now, that was
Sure.
my question.
One additional thing I want to recommend, this isn't necessarily, I hope this wouldn't be an issue, but I know that you do have some media students at the school. And, I think this would be an interesting opportunity for some of the media students to get involved in some capacity. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it's just like a job shadowing thing, if it's that simple, or if they want to be more involved. But I just wanted to propose that just in case that sparks any ideas.
It's an option.
Thank you, Jeff.
And we also have been given an opportunity to have 3 months on a billboard out by 69 to highlight the school. So for me, my thought was, as we enter this agreement, there may be something that mirrors some of the high points. We just need to talk about like what are we going to put on the billboard.
Sure. If that is on the table, I do have to say that when it comes to billboard stuff, what that requires is vectorizing images. Okay. And so when it comes to vectorizing images, that's basically converting an image to a format where the bigger you make it, it doesn't become distorted or pixelated. That's easier to do with professional photos that have more resolution. And most photos have more resolution than what video does. So if the idea is, well, we'll just take stills from the video and throw it on the billboard, that may not turn out the way that you want. It might, but I'm just saying there's risk there. So what I would say, if that is something that you're considering, you should also consider a photographer. It doesn't have to be within my framework, but that would be something that I would consider.
I think I was thinking that if, like the CPE programs, if that's gonna be in a video clip, if there's something similar or some photos of similar auto welding and, whatever the
Sure.
experiences are.
Yeah.
Somebody might see the billboard and again, just reinforce that connection, that exposure of, hey, they've got a good program here.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think with athletics and maybe hard to get to all the stuff in the season, but maybe we just showcase our facilities because we have some remarkable facilities, weight room, soccer field, baseball, softball fields are very nice. Basketball court obviously is very nice and go that route instead of showing a highlight of a game or something. I think, we offer so many varsity sports,
Right.
for boys and for girls, what we offer in that situation too. Not, I don't think athletics, is super high on the list, but I think it needs to be out there that we need people to realize that we do have all that.
Yeah.
And we have a pretty nice place to play.
Yeah, it's definitely the most challenging logistically to capture, but it's also one of the most competitive things that you can talk about, right? So, yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 there. So, I mean, we can talk about it, and if you vote to proceed with this, and we want to keep athletics on there, obviously I'll do the best that I can. I'll partner with Suzanne and whoever to try to make that happen. We can even get a little scrappy with it, right? If that's perhaps it's staging, right? Staging a particular game or situation, right? We could do that, and we would only need a group of kids, but it wouldn't necessarily have to be in season, or just like a handful of shots, right? So that's an option.
Well, we have a new girls wrestling program.
Yes, we do.
That's only been a year or two.
I agree with Terry. I think sports needs to be involved, needs to be out there.
Yeah.
So even if we need to come up with the additional day of filming to capture all of that.
Well, and I should have clarified on here with this additional day of filming. Really, in my head, that's a limited number of hours. Okay, so if it's a situation where you just want me at a location for, let's say, an hour, that's not going to constitute that full 600 additional add-on.
Okay.
Really, what that's saying, additional day of filming, is like, okay, if you need me somewhere for longer than 4 to 5 hours,
Okay.
right? So maybe another way to think about that is for that additional day of filming, that would give you an additional 4 to 5 hours of filming that could be split up amongst several days or events.
I mean, as a board, we've talked about this numerous times, and I think we need to go ahead and pull the trigger. So I'll make a motion to go ahead and proceed.
You want to add the TikTok?
Yeah, yes,
With the add-on.
with the add-on.
69.
Okay, so your motion is to approve with the add-on of the vertical only versions of all TikTok videos and reels.
Yes.
Can you second that? Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. First reading of policies F325 and 350.
So in working with the state over the last several weeks on some of our financial guidelines, there was suggested to ensure that we had certain policies in place. We did already have the investment income policy F200 it's actually approved in January of '24. So, but we do need to add debt management policy F325 and cash balance and liquidity policy F350. So those are in here for first reading. If you have any questions, please let me know. It should be next month, we should be having it for second reading.
Is there anything under other? No. Personnel, resignation, retirements, and leave of absence.
Actually, in this section, we have medical leaves only.
Okay.
So,
Make a motion to approve the medical leave.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and second, all in favor, raise your hand. Professional leave.
no professional, we got hiring.
Oh, yeah.
But other,
How about hirings? Other
hiring.
hirings.
I would like to recommend Jen Defendall for the position of administrative assistant at central office. She's been our bookstore attendance person at Pike Central for several years. With the move of curricular materials to the corporation level account, that did adjust her duties. With the move of our previous assistant, Tracy Stone, going to deputy treasurer, we've looked at some scenarios, again, trying to consider what's needed, what can be absorbed, and we felt like it would be in the best interest to have Jen move over here as administrative assistant. The remaining duties, bookstore related, she could handle. The building principal, we've talked, and the attendance items will be dispersed among the staff remaining at the high school. So the bookstore secretary position will not be replaced. With the transfer, her hourly rate is $17.85. It's an 8-hour day for 240 days. So I'm requesting your approval.
That was 240.
242.
240. All right. 240.
Make a motion to approve that. Hire.
I'll have a second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
When does this take place?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
As soon as we can get her over here.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I mean, can I have a little say in that?
no.
Can you give me a couple days?
Well,
You need a couple days, yes.
Well, and the other thing was the attendance issue is who do
We got
the
it.
other schools that kids travel to have to contact for
Yeah,
absentees?
communication.
So,
No, as soon as we'll coordinate with the high school
Okay.
and set the start date.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Administrative comments.
don't y'all fight each other.
Good evening.
How are you?
I agree.
I don't have a lot this evening. Well, we went on Christmas break, you know,
Yeah.
haven't had a lot. But Mrs. McCutcheon and Mrs. Simpson are in Africa. They made it there safely, and they'll be visiting a school there, and we'll be bringing back some lessons for our students when they get back. So we're excited about that. We had 0 on our anonymous reporting app link for the month. Student council and peer mediators will be working with Adam Houchins to make bracelets for a fundraiser for Millie. That's going to be ongoing, and I think the event is in April. Our high ability and COGAT testing is happening this week and throughout the month. We had about 24 students participate in the mobile dentist. It was really good. They were busy all day. Nurse Tricia helped organize that with them, and it was successful. And I held a student's hand. He was a little bit afraid and said, "I don't blame you. I don't like dentists either." We will start Wild Word Wednesdays tomorrow, and that's to help improve vocabulary and spark some excitement even with the staff. So tomorrow we'll be pulling out some of the entries that students have basically represented the word meticulous, and so it'll be fun, and we've had fun with that this week. Our basketball and cheer teams are busy, and it's amazing how much growth we've seen in this little bit of time. So that's been fun to watch, and we're really proud of them. Mrs. McCutcheon is going to start, we have new students coming in throughout the year, and that can cause a lot of anxiety for new students. So she's going to work with some of our 5th graders, and we're going to have PES ambassadors. She's going to work with them, and they're going to give the new students tours and just periodically check in with the new students to help them transition to our school. And that's going to be a really positive addition to what we're doing.
Thank you.
In fact, my 5th grade granddaughter, Avalyn, they went to Barton Township, and my husband said they won 23-6, so.
How's everybody?
How are you?
Good. I just wanted to start out by saying thanks to all the teachers and staff for getting the successful start to the year. We were doing little writing prompts each day for students on the announcements, and one of the 5th graders wrote in, their prompt was something they would change or not change about the school, and she said, I don't have anything to change right now, I'll talk to you later. Pretty funny. But she said, don't change the staff, they're nice and kind. So I shared it on the announcement. Those are great opportunities for them to write about things that are important to them in school, and then fun to acknowledge those over the announcements as well. Character education this week, we're continuing with our 7 habits. It's called Synergize, so it pairs perfectly with the educational opportunity for our staff that is going to this weekend, where we got Petersburg teachers, Winslow teachers, middle school teachers going to Nashville to work with the collaborative structures and bring that back as teacher leaders to the corporation. I think those are awesome for social skills development. We went to an AI training at Jasper for ISP last Friday. And, these are things that are AI resistant too. If you have to talk to someone, that the AI can't do that yet anyways. That was really interesting as well. I think it's something to keep talking about. I do feel like we've made good strides as a corporation in that, and continue to develop what our vision for that is. I think we're at a good place, but it's moving so quickly. It's kind of amazing. Speaking of that, our thanks to Dana and Bill and Melissa, we have planned our Flex Day for professional development related to Magic School AI integration and computer science. We've got teachers that are presenting at that. Phil's presenting. Miss Lee's helping him with that, so that's really awesome. One of our literacy traditions is continuing. It's year 4 where we're doing one school, one book. We're doing Charlotte's Web this year. So super excited about that. Again, the teachers narrow it down. The kids get to pick. They're developing that library. So for our 4th graders, or now they've got 4 or 5 books on their shelves just from Winslow. So pretty neat. And then we are continuing to look at the iLearn checkpoint data. Think about how to use that especially for growth metrics. One of the things we've done with iReady is to make it grow throughout the year. It doesn't have something that's exactly analogous, but may have a solution just with working with Miss Lee and some of our other teachers about how to look at growth that has a predictor for if you'll pass the summative at the end of the year. So what we've done is got the predictor from the first checkpoint, and we can compare that to the prediction that they get on the second checkpoint and think about, are they showing growth towards potentially passing that iLearn summative at the end of the year? So an opportunity to still mirror some of the things that we're doing with iReady. I think that's pretty innovative approach that she hit on. And then in K2, we are still looking at the iReady data, have had our PLCs this week. And so a great opportunity to revisit successes from the first semester and think about how we're making instructional shifts based on those for the second semester.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good, you guys. Start off right away. Students of the month recently, Macy Harris, December, Emma Brock, January. We have 2 senior athletes that have signed or are going to be signing. Austin Luff signed swimming with Midway in Kentucky, down around Georgetown, Kentucky. Kylie Weathers is going to be signing with Vincent University in cross country. The Wizard of Oz is up and going. That musical will be on March 13th through the 15th. Speaking of Mrs. Traylor, she does a guitar class, and so they are up and running second semester, and they're learning how to string their guitars. If you guys ever want to come out and check out the musical class, it's a fun thing to kind of get involved
We had
with.
to have them bring my banjo out there and
Sure.
every string it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It'd be cheap. They would take care of it. Heidi Woodford was our Lily winner this year. I can't remember if I said that last time or if it had been announced, but congratulations to Heidi. Mrs. Hunt's animal science class has been learning about the horse industry and had the opportunity to learn hands-on. Recently visited Freedom Reigns Therapeutic Riding Center to explore that sector of the industries. They went out, discussed feeding, watering, veterinary care. Didn't get on any of them, but were just out and about. And if you have a chance to ever just visit with Nina and talk to her about her experiences, she's a joy to chat with about stuff. Homecoming's going to be next week. We'll have Spirit Days all week. It'll be on Friday, January 23rd. Freshman attendants are Lydia Daniel, Callie Franklin. Sophomores, Avery Adams, Zoe Haycraft. Juniors, Ava Osrud, Olivia Taylor. And then our seniors are Easton Bailey, Kalia Hartke, Regina Martin, Emily McGillum, Brenna Ridio, and Kylie Weathers. So if you guys want to come out 23rd, that's going to be homecoming. We're getting into some swimming conferences coming up. There's going to be some wrestling. Boys stuff will be coming up soon. Swimming regional for girl or sectional for girls will be coming up. We just had Callie Franklin represent us in the girls regional, which was pretty fun to go up to and be a part of. And so the athletics are in full swing, and then academic season is also upon us. So those teams are going to start practicing. And swing choir is out on their spring tour, if you will. They'll go to about 9 or 10 different churches over the course of the next 4 or 5 months. So if you guys want to check that out, she's already posted that out somewhere. And I think this is good news. Recently, we reached out to several organizations around Pike County, 60 or some, to discuss partnerships moving forward in the future, either in internships or some work-based learning. The goal is to try to get the seniors kind of out the door. We'd be willing to start stuff this semester, but we really want to kind of go full swing in August to try and get a lot of our kids out the door into the real world, doing some things. We already got a decent percentage right now, but we'd like to get it up over. To be honest with you, I'd love it if I had 80-90% of my kids out the door half day, doing something in the community or career related or something like that. So had several responses back already, so it's been positive. We'll have parameters obviously on it. The state of Indiana requires that with the DOE, but it is something that we're kind of excited about, making sure that we can get our kids out there. So pretty good start to second semester as well. On our reporting, we had 9 since the last time, all taken care of, cleared out. So there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James messing up the system. Let's see, well, we came back from break, ready to go. The teachers have hit the ground running with reviewing our data, getting the students into their new groups. We had our first round of iLearn data. We've, reviewed all of that. In meeting with the teachers at the different grade levels, it's been interesting to hear their different takes and approaches on remediation and kind of getting feedback from them. So we have one grade level that maybe has approached it this way versus another one a grade level that approached it a different way based upon the strengths of the teachers. So some, like by the time you get to 8th grade, some teachers don't feel maybe as comfortable with teaching the math as they would something else. 6th grade teachers more comfortable with, doing all of it. So just their approaches to how they're going about it is a little bit different, but it's awesome to see the results that they're getting. And then they're sharing that feedback within the grade levels to, improve for the next time. So it's been great to see that collaboration. I did meet with Ms. Steffendahl the other day to talk about next year. There is a new initiative from the state that we are required to do interventions with math. So we have to have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 interventions. I feel like we've already done a great job of getting that implemented. There may be a little tweak that we have to do to be within compliance on that, but other than that, we've already done it. So I think that's really exciting. Carter Moss, today he did win our school spelling bee. So he's a 7th grader. He actually won last year. So he's 2 years in a row as our school spelling bee winner. His word was mosque. That's what the word was. So as far as our flex day, we do have our teachers spent a lot of time last year working on curriculum alignment, pacing guides. So on flex day, we are going to meet with the high school teachers to talk about that, now that vertical alignment. So what it looks like when they're going from the middle school to the high school, things that the high school sees that, maybe we need to focus a little bit more on, or, they're really strong in this, but not so much in this, and just those conversations that need to be had. So we plan to do that on the flex day. We are working on our high ability testing, NWE testing. All of those things are still happening and getting scheduled. Seems like we're always trying to schedule something, but students are doing a great job with it. They are getting on board a lot more with wanting to see their scores. So that's one thing that we really worked on a lot last year, especially second semester, is making sure that they know where they are with their scores, and they're a lot more excited. Well, how did I do? Well, we don't even know because you haven't hit submit yet, but as soon as you do, and then we get that data back, we'll be happy to share with you. I mean, they're just very, very excited about seeing that. So we hope that continues. We try to motivate them with different incentives and things like that. So things are going well with middle school, and you guys are welcome to come visit anytime if you would like. We did have one report. It was not substantiated. There were actually 2, but one was actually high school, so we forwarded that on to them.
Thank you.
It's best for last, right?
That's right.
Transportation side, we've got the 3-day free service bus training that the state puts on. That'll be the 27th through the 29th. We've already got several signed up for that again. So that's the first of, I think, 3 that they've chosen to come to Pike County to do. We're having them out to book the technology building. I'm taking we got some people coming in giving us quotes on the roof, the gym roof, and the auditorium roof at Pike Central. Our elevator in the high school cafeteria has been completed. Homeland Security is coming tomorrow to do the final inspection on that, so we should be up and running with that sometime tomorrow afternoon. The chiller, update on the chiller has been set. The majority of the piping's been done. They're doing some of the insulation. Most of the electrical's complete, but they have to change out the panel, and they'll do that on the 13th of February. And that's when we have a snow day. So, the power is going to be off mostly then. And then I've got Claridge auction's been in. They've already started cataloging some stuff on the Pike Central, and we should be going into the Otwell building hopefully the end of this week, first of next week. So that's about all I've got.
Thanks, sir.
Yep.
Mr. Hope, you got anything?
Yeah, Officer Don is in full swing for wrestling practice for the middle school kids. Officer Baston from Winslow delivered a high school student this morning. Myself and a couple of the SROs have talked. We do believe next Tuesday there should be a 2-hour delay due to the fact that Indiana is in the national championship game. We were wanting you guys to consider that. So
It's gonna be terribly,
Where's the cinnamon Alabama fan?
it's gonna be terribly foggy on Tuesday morning. So it's perfectly.
just a little bit to throw out there. I do know one thing for sure. Myself and Officer Buck have talked about making TikToks between the difference between high school kids and middle school kids. So this is a great opportunity.
There you go.
Dylan, do you have the point of contact or?
I'll make sure to get it.
Well, I did have an idea. I know with Mr. Kopinar being new, Mrs. Pancake being new, there may be something about our schools that they find different than where they were. That might be something we want to highlight, something good. So if you guys have any thoughts on that,
And I
be
will
sure to share them.
take on to that. Both of them were selected to do a podcast earlier in the year. With Randy Harris. Well, they might have got voluntoed, but they did a great job. So.
And Sweet Choir was at our church Sunday night. They did a great job. Really enjoyed it.
Superintendent comments?
And my part, I just want to say thank you to the board members and everybody who's put in a lot of time on some of these financial meetings that we've been working through the last several weeks. Appreciate the time and all you've done. Appreciate administrators, the teachers, maybe even the SROs for all they've done to get the second semester started off well. So thank you.
Board member comments?
I'll make a motion to adjourn then. I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, raise your hand. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you,
sir.
Let's say it's early. It's early.